One need not be a chamber to be haunted. One need not be a house. The brain has corridors surpassing material place. Hey, spooky siblings, welcome to Left on Red. My name is Red, and today we will talk about the Kuntilanak. A Kuntilanak, or a Pontianak, is a carnivorous female vampiric ghost found in Southeast Asian folklore. She usually arises at full moon and announces her presence through high-pitched baby cries. If the cry is soft, it means that the Kuntilanak is near, and if it is loud, she must be far. Some believe that if one hears a dog howling at night, that means the Kuntilanak is far. But if a dog is whining, that means she is nearby. Her presence can sometimes be detected by a nice floral fragrance identifiable as that of a plumeria, followed by an awful stench resembling that of a decaying body. The Kuntilanak is associated with banana trees, and her spirit is said to reside in them during the day. Kuntilanaks are usually depicted as pale-skinned women with long black hair. Well, we have that in common. They also have red eyes and white dresses smeared in blood. But they're said to be able to take on a beautiful human appearance since they prey on men and helpless people. Our story today is by Giraffe. So my sister told me the story about her encounter when she was little. Our house in Vietnam growing up was haunted. Anyway, so my oldest sister told me she woke up in the middle of the night around 2 a.m., very cold, which is unusual for Vietnam, especially during that time. Not as many households had an AC. She was in between being awake and asleep when she saw out the corner of her eye a lady with her back to my sister sitting at her vanity, combing her long black hair. My sister was so scared she started praying in her head till she fell asleep. The next night, she told my brother to sleep next to the wall. They shared the room, and when he fell asleep, she covered him up to protect him for superstitious reasons. She knew she could have experienced a nightmare, but due to our house's history, she wasn't taking any chances. She then covered herself up with just a peephole through the light blanket. It was hot as hell. That night she woke up again to a stale, cold atmosphere. Also around 2 a.m. Sure enough, it wasn't a nightmare. And there at her vanity was the same lady in a white dress, combing her long black hair. The lady must have sensed my sister looking at her this time, and she started to slowly turn around, stood up, and walked towards my sister. She said her hair was long and black, her face pale, white, and her eyes were just all white. Completely white. My sister also said her feet didn't touch the floor. They just kind of floated a few inches above it. This was a Kuntilanak. My sister squeezed her eyes shut, scared to death, and the lady crouched next to her on the floor. The lady then hovered her hand from the top of my sister's head all the way down to her toes, and my sister described it as an isolated, stagnant, icy coldness that followed her hand. She didn't touch her, just hovered. My sister was praying a specific chant in her mind as if her life depended on it. She didn't even remember how long it had been, but she no longer felt that stale, cold air. The Kuntilanak was no longer there when she opened her eyes. So the next morning, she set out an offering of rice, a couple fruits, and incense, and prayed to the spirit to move along from our house. She never saw the Kuntilanak again. Our second story today is by Space Ape. My dad was going home late from work and he felt a spirit following him from his farm. So he went into the car hoping the spirit will not follow him, but to no avail. He actually saw the ghost sitting in the back seat of the car through the rear view mirror. It was a woman with very long black hair and a long white sheet as clothing. Her face was very pale and had all black eyes, and she was grinning. She was a female demon usually called Kuntilanak in Indonesia. My dad saw her, but even though he was nervous, he wasn't scared. He kept driving calmly to our house. After he arrived, he knew the spirit was following him across the yard. As he reached the front door, he turned towards the demon, who was now in the trees. He talked to her calmly, saying, "You have followed me home, and I didn't say anything. But if you lay a hand on my family, I will personally destroy you. Begone in the name of Jesus." The demon hissed at him and disappeared right before his eyes. You know what I find really fascinating? That this Kuntilanak demon seems to be polytheistic. Whether you offer her a rice offering with some chants or beseech her in the name of Christ, she seems to respect all religions. A very secular ghost indeed. I stand. And that was Haunted Wednesday. Thank you for joining me. If you like scary stories, subscribe to my channel and press the bell notification. I put out spooky videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Until next time.